What's going on, everybody? It's the Flow Show for the love of wrestling. We got the Four Horsemen back. I got to say so. We got Mac Lowe back in the building. What's going on, sir? And we got the usual suspects, Brian, Andrew, yours truly, Quincy Jones, going. Of course, Young Baca, repping in. We're actually, we're, I don't want to say tri-coastal. No, we're on the same coast, but we got Baca from, Vegas right now? Is that what's going on? Are you scouting venues out there? What you doing?
Yes, sir, Vegas. And I'm showing a room.
Room 112?
We had a show last night, and he has this. Look at Sportsman Wave was Waves. You know what I'm saying? He's old school like that. Look at that. I just found this on tape right now.
you are a fascinating man, Baca.
Yeah, man.
But you know what? We did just have the Royal Rumble. I know you're excited about that, Baca, but I know you're really excited about possibly the hottest news to come across pro wrestling this week. I mean, you know, a lot of people talking about working relationships, but I'm not talking about that. I think there's something there's another controversial headline going out there, and we're talking about a former WWE guy. You know what I mean? You guys hear about this?
First of all, I would like to say, as your reigning $2 champion.
Oh, that's true.
That's fucking whole shit, by the way.
So
no, actually,
so
no, you're not.
Two guys.
Is it a reign if it's a tie?
It's called a champion.
We both got counted out.
I don't know if you watched. I don't know if you've watched professional wrestling before, but a champion's advantage, if it's a disqualification, count out, anything like that, the tie goes to the champion. So I would like to say,
but you didn't beat anybody.
You didn't beat us.
So good.
But you didn't beat anybody.
Good.
Fucking
it was
no
so
contest
good
ass
to beat.
motherfucker.
And still, $2 champion, Young Baca, from parts unknown. It feels amazing. And I know it drives Quincy nuts because Quincy's dedicated his life to professional wrestling. And in this casual fan walks in, does his thing, man. It feels so damn good, man. It just means so much to me, man. With a tear in my eye, heart full of pride, it feels so good to be a $2 champion, man. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I was talking about at the bar all night last night. You know what I mean? Where you grab go by the neck and you're like whispering in my ear. That was me telling about $2 champion,
bro.
And it feels so good, man. Thank you so much.
The $2 champion got $2 Wi-Fi out there. God damn it!
Yeah, I know. I understand.
That's a fact.
What's this controversy? I don't know about this controversy.
You're talking about the former bragging rights trophy winner along with Team SmackDown in 2010.
All I know is you didn't win. That's all I know.
The one-time Slammy Award winner for most menacing haircut. You didn't see this?
All I know is you didn't win, Quincy. That's all I know. You know.
I'm talking about the former Tyler Reks. You guys hear about this?
No, I haven't.
Tyler Reks has come out as transgender.
Oh, that Tyler Reks. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
I saw a photo, but I wasn't sure that was Tyler Reks. Oh, okay.
I mean, it's Gabby now, but yeah.
That's dope. He looks pretty good, or she. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's
a fine line. I know.
I'm gonna tell you the crazy thing about it. For us, I guess, would be his wife is totally supportive of us.
That's dope.
Sweet.
Right?
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So,
hey, I feel it. Whatever you gotta do to find that inner peace inside of you, that's awesome, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes you gotta leave to Vegas if you're Baca, or
or
you get to talk with wrestling with your boys every week like me. So I get it.
How does the Young Baca team feel that you're like, hey, I need some quiet time in the room to talk some wrestling?
They're blowing me up right now. Saying where you at, because we have a podcast. We got invited on this huge podcast in Vegas, so we're gonna go right now. But I had to make time for professional wrestling, man.
He had to make it.
I don't want to be a champion that doesn't.
He had to make his round. He had to do the press, the post pay-per-view press as champ. Right?
Press run.
I get it.
So is the podcast
the media scrum?
I don't want to be like a Brock Lesnar, like a champion.
Yeah. You don't talk to nobody.
You know what I'm saying? I had to come here and say, hey, $2 champion. I'm happy to be here.
I guess we'll see you at Takeover Vengeance Day. I guess
it feels good to be a champion.
I don't know. I mean, I think Brian feels good.
Hey, are we gonna watch WrestleMania together?
I don't know, man. Now if you keep going to Vegas and
I actually wanted to talk to you about trying to put together a potential WrestleMania like trivia night on B-side.
Whatever you want to do at B-side, man. Just let me know. We'll make it happen.
He was serious when it came to the business. He's like, I don't care if it's
I just
if it's a donkey show, the money's right. Let's go.
You have 4 minutes. You have 4 minutes.
It's B-sides a sensitive subject, man. I just feel like we're not doing what we can do. Yeah.
I feel you.
Whatever you want to do.
I will holler at you about that for sure.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
Do have some ideas.
You have
so.
4 minutes, and you've been bitching at us all week to talk about Bad Bunny. So I'm going to let you have 4
minutes.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen. If Bad Bunny went on AEW, you guys would have been like, "This is amazing."
No, I wouldn't.
Popular.
Well, first of all,
musician of all time.
First of all, how do you know I didn't feel like that?
Bad Bunny is the.
You don't know if that's my actual reaction to how when I saw him on WWE.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah, I didn't mind it.
Yeah,
Honestly, it was better than most of the other musical guests they have on there. To be honest,
because you know why? Because he grew up watching wrestling. That's why.
And this I know. Yeah, it didn't come off as like, hey, I got a movie coming up. Let's do some cross. It didn't come off like that at all.
I didn't mind it. Looks Bad Bunny more than I liked Booker T.
Yeah. I mean, dude, the thing is like Booker T. No, you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm like, you couldn't hit us with the dance move one time. Like,
bro,
I'm like, come on.
I bet you it took him a long time to get it right for the music video. That's why they didn't have him do it on.
Probably. I mean, he could have teased him and like, hey, yo, let's get some more Vivo views up on the tube. You know what I mean?
He's the
uncle. Bad Bunny is the first artist to have 100% Spanish album and go number one on Billboard's chart.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. So check it out. You said that last week on the last episode, and because you said that, you educated me, and I actually was able to regurgitate that fact to somebody about why it was a big deal. And I was
all
like,
about, man.
You know what I mean? And I was like, yeah, I actually just learned this. But this is why,
big deal.
You know, each one teach one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But,
if it gets Damian Priest over, I don't care.
He's getting Damian Priest over, man.
But I don't care if he's on TV.
I want to argue that Damian Priest still would have gotten over even if he wasn't. But I mean, you know, if this
that Bad Bunny's getting Damian Priest over.
No, I'm saying I'm speaking to the potential and the star power that Damian Priest can bring to the main roster on his own merits. But like you said, if this is what's going to get him there faster, that's cool too. But when Bad Bunny leaves, I hope it's not the push leaves too, because the push is only at the expense of getting the cross promotion from Bad Bunny. But when Bad Bunny leaves, is Damian Priest going to be in a good spot?
Well, you know, that's where Bad Bunny's going to have a WrestleMania match, dude.
Well, that's what
together.
If this, usually these pushes take about 3 weeks and then they're over. So I was gonna say, if this at least gets Damian Priest to Mania, and has this push, then that's good. But then afterwards, we'll see what happens.
And that's my thing. Is the afterwards. No, I'm just. I'm worried about the fallout. I'm worried about the fallout, bro.
WWE's taking the hottest star in music right now and teaming up with a young guy that's coming up.
Weekend?
And just made his main roster debut, and you guys are still upset.
What should happen is Bad Bunny just manages Booker T and Damian Priest.
No, man, you guys are crazy, man. You saw Bad Bunny.
It will still get him over.
He got the skills, man. He got the skills.
I mean, they had to have him do the Snoop Dogg-esque splash on the outside, though, right?
He's also at the Performance Center.
Hey, it was awesome, man. Yeah, he's at the Performance Center putting in work, man.
I mean.
Yo, you can't be mad at that. He's not just walking in. He's at the Performance Center putting in work, man.
Don't say that, because as far as we know, it's like the same thing as like, dude, I remember, I put on wrestling shows, and the first time I actually had a wrestling ring right in front of me for 5 seconds, I was like, oh shit, I'm on wrestling ring. I'm gonna go hop in that bitch.
Yeah, that's dope. Yep.
So I mean, if I'm Bad Bunny and I'm against the WWE, they're of course they're gonna take him to the Performance Center and see what he thinks about it, and of course they're gonna have him run around the ropes, and you know what I mean, like.
But he's a genuine wrestling fan. Like
that I'll give him. I'll 100% give. I'll never take that away from him, because even when I saw a video of him, he was how I know is he said it in Spanish. You know what I'm saying? He had a whole interview where he was dropping names I didn't expect him to drop. So I was like, because you know, you're like, oh, let me hear the Eddie Guerrero and the John Cena and the quintessential Hulk Hogan. Nah, he was talking some pretty big names. So I'm not against it. Again, just because of the execution, it's not it's not too hokey. Like, I put it like this, like it's not like Machine Gun Kelly where you're like, yes, Kevin Owens, please just powerbomb this nigga.
Yeah, tried to kill that man.
Yeah. Machine Gun Kelly.
I mean, dude, look at him. He's singing about love now.
Know who he is, man. Yeah. So listen, I just want to come on real quick and just say it's just amazing to be the defending champion. It's just unbelievable, man. I'm in Vegas. I got a beautiful view, and the fact that I know
you
I'm
got
still
Bad Bunny
champion.
about the manager.
I know you don't want NXT, so when Takeover comes,
it's awesome.
We'll see you.
So I'm gonna depart. I'm gonna leave you guys so you guys can talk about Kenta for 45 minutes.
We're gonna talk some indie wrestling uninterrupted for a change. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome, man. Brian, how big did you watch AEW live? Like while it was going on?
Not live, but I watched. Okay. I watched it without knowing the spoilers.
And how big of a pop was it for you when Kenta showed up?
I was like, "Oh, this is dope." That's basically my reaction.
Come on, man. Be honest about it. You were like,
Well, yeah, how many times have you seen something you like and then you read the stories and it was just like, oh, that's like a one-time thing. It's not going to lead.
That's why you don't read the stories. That's why you
the Forbidden Door was
kind
of
that's why you don't do that stuff, man.
And I was like, okay, this is dope.
I do want to say before I get out of here, man, it's really dope that AEW can do like a New Japan crossover and a Impact crossover. It's really dope, man. It is really dope.
Is it really dope that you're spreading COVID? And
yeah, no. I'm doing my thing. King of Las
Vegas. He said I'm doing my thing.
King of Las Vegas, Quincy. It was honestly one of the best shows we ever had, and it feels so good to be king. And king is whatever, but the fact that I'm champion,
Newsom banned you from Cali, huh? And you're hiding out.
Yeah, listen, we had a show in LA last night and a show in Las Vegas, man. Come on, baby, we do our thing.
That's dope, man.
Really quick before Brian talks over me, it feels great to be the champion. Maybe one day. And you know what? Maybe you guys just do a little bit more studying of like professional wrestling and things like that.
What are you talking about? Brian's been champ before. Brian's been
I'm champ. I'm champ.
Now
you guys used to do. I'm champion. And it's so great and it's amazing. And this is the clip I'm going to post on Instagram about how great I am and I'm the champion and it feels so good. You guys, and I know it drives Quincy crazy because he dedicates his life to professional wrestling. And a casual fan like me and Bad Bunny come in and just take the strap, man. It's awesome. What a day.
I'm cool with Bad Bunny, but you're different. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
You're like the David Arquette of No, I got nothing but love. It's always the competitive nature. I ain't gonna lie. Like there's times Robbie sitting up there doing the math. I'm like, yeah, ain't no way I'm finna get back. Even if I get all these right and these fools, I'm like, nah, I can't do it.
Yep.
But it's all good, man.
One thing that when Peter Rosenberg won that 24/7 championship, shout out to my boy Rosenberg Radio.
Did you see when he lost it?
Yeah, he lost it.
That was pretty. No, not as a joke. I just thought it was pretty hilarious that they did the continuity on a whole different show to do that. So
yeah, so I watched. Shout out to Michael K. Shout out to Don McClellan. Shout out to Beast Rosenberg. ESPN New York, man. It was voted the best drive home show in all of the United States, man. And it's cool, man. And R-Truth got that love, and it's doing awesome, man. But they compared him to David Arquette, and I think that's a little ridiculous, man. Because David Arquette being WCW champion in 1999 was bullshit, right?
Especially following a movie that he just, you know what I mean? Like it was just So like the dog, that's like The Rock comes back as like the Scorpion King for reals in WWE and becomes champ as the Scorpion King.
Yeah.
I'm no longer The Rock. It's like
don't say it too loud. They might
all of a sudden, and then we got to sign Imhotep, and then we got to have the the mummy, the blow off match at WrestleMania. It's you got to do it at Caesar's Palace. You know how it goes.
What's the next pay-per-view?
Turmoil in
2 weeks, 3 weeks?
I don't know what the next pay-per-view is.
Isn't it TakeOver or is it Elimination Chamber? Or is that?
TakeOver.
I think it's TakeOver because they said TakeOver Vengeance Day, which is supposed to be like for Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, but that's not a pay-per-view though. That's just a way. We don't put I don't put my championship for that. It's just a regular NXT show.
It's called
TakeOver. It's not on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's called TakeOver. It's called
TakeOver
Vengeance Day. That's what it's called.
I'm a fighting champion, man. I'm a fighting champion. That's what you guys want to
I
do.
don't know. It sounds like
no problem either.
Sounds like you ducking.
I think you're ducking.
Brian, what do they call Elimination Chamber in Germany?
Sunday Fun Day.
Yeah, no. They're not allowed to call Elimination Chamber in Germany, right?
Oh, you're talking about.
But that's great that you said Sunday Fun Day in Germany.
I forgot that we talked about this before. Yeah, we can't. It's called. I think it's called like No Surrender or something. I forgot.
Something like that. Why can't they call it Elimination Chamber, Brian?
I mean, because it's about eliminating people in a chamber. So I mean,
sensitive. Very sensitive.
Okay, so TakeOver's the 14th. Elimination Chamber is a week after that. So the title's gonna be defended.
Okay. So TakeOver's in 8 days. All right.
I mean,
I'm
dude,
a fighting champion, man.
I don't know, man. Dusty used to make like 3 towns in one day. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a fighting champion, man. Just like Ed shows up on every.
Don't call yourself the American Dream if you ain't ready to work for it. You know.
And then Revolution
from King, everything my ancestors want me to be, baby.
And
yeah, Revolution, it's in March, right?
Yeah, it's the 7th, and then it's Fastlane. So you have to defend the title 4 times before Mania. And you have to defend
champion,
it,
man.
And the champion. So if you survive the 4 events, you have to defend it on day 1. And if you survive day 1, you have to defend on day 2.
Hey, you know what? Vince McMahon gave the same obstacles to Kofi Kingston. He overcame. So I think I'm going to overcome as well, man. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Mac Lowe, you're my favorite. Brian, you're my 4th favorite out of 3 people.
I hope you're late to your podcast.
I am late right now. Everyone's already texting me right now. But I had to come in and say, hey, you know what? It feels good to be champion. Talk a little professional wrestling with my boys. And
damn, you ain't gonna pay no respects to Butch Reed during Black History Month, bro.
Well, Buck is a Hulk Hogan fan, so.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not a Hulk Hogan fan.
Yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
That's
absolutely
not what I heard. I heard he loved it.
Did you know that Hulk Hogan made an appearance on WWE last night during Black History Month?
Seriously?
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't know. That's crazy. All right. Love you guys. I love Bad Bunny. It feels great to be champion. Going to walk on my wave game. I'll see you guys later, man.
Get those waves, baby.
Awesome. Later.
All right. Peace, man.
Oh, man. I was going to ask him what he was going to wave up before he left.
Man, I wanted to see the do-rag, actually. I wanted to see how he was going to. But, so, you know what? You mentioned it just a few minutes ago. Well, Baca mentioned it as he likes to make fun of us. But, yeah, the Kenta thing, man. That was pretty big. That was pretty big. I mean, I was watching it as well. I had no idea about the spoiler either. I wasn't sure who it was that was in the hood at first. And
even since Winter is it called Winter is Coming? People were rumoring at the idea that it could be Kenta. Remember, because I remember Moxley got beat up, I think, the week before or something.
Oh yeah, because everybody was see, they never even ran that back where he got attacked,
right?
And because everybody was just assuming that it was Kenny Omega, but he was playing it off too. So I don't know. That's actually that's real good. I mean, but then they're like, how do you get on U.S. soil and then just leave in the middle of the night?
He lives in the U.S., right?
Does he?
I thought he lives in. I thought he
went back to Japan.
I thought he lives in Florida and he flies out to do New Japan. But
I think he possibly. I mean, he probably moved out to Florida, same as Nakamura did when they joined. I mean, because he was in NXT, so you know.
Yeah, and
he was down there for a long time too.
I could be wrong, but I believe he has a place in Japan. That's what makes it easy for him to go out there and spend a few months.
That's super clutch.
But I do believe he lives here when there's not events going on.
Baller.
I mean but see, I don't. That's the only thing is because then why has it taken so long for those two to even face for that belt? Because I know it was it had to be the U.S. thing, but
wasn't that Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom though?
Oh, that's true. He was. Well, he fought somebody to retain that briefcase, and then they played a pre-tape promo that Moxley did at the LA dojo.
Because I remember for months people were saying, and I could be wrong about all this, but I remember for months people were saying the only person who could probably take that title off John Moxley is Kenta because he lives in the United States.
I mean, I'm with it. I mean, I'm surprised.
They're not going to give it to one of the Lion Dojo people.
I was just going to say, I mean, they can build up one of those guys, but I still don't think, I mean, just in comparison to the way that they've been building up Moxley in his New Japan presentation, I don't see it. Kenta, I mean, they just need to do business and get that belt off John so they don't have to worry about that shit no more because, obviously they weren't planning for the pandemic, but it fucking held up a lot of shit logically and storyline-wise that they couldn't fucking, you know what I mean? So,
and I think that's why, when Baca asked me, what was my thoughts? I thought it was a big deal that he was on the show, but I didn't at first think it was this New Japan AEW crossover thing. I actually thought at first it was maybe just they're letting Kenta have a one-night rental on AEW just to push the match they're going to have in New Japan, but then
that's what
after
I felt
that
too.
It's going to be nothing again.
See, I thought the same thing, but then they already promoted that they're having a tag match next week, him and Kenny Omega. So I was like, okay, so I don't think they would allow him to appear if they weren't cool with it, right? I mean, it's one thing if you're well, dude, I live in the U.S. I mean, you're just a phone call away. You can't physically stop me from coming over here. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm Kenta, whatever. I don't know if that's what's gonna fly, but it's It is interesting to say the least, because it does definitely signify that there's some sort of, like they said, the forbidden door is at least creaked open just a little bit if they're going to let someone like Kenta over. But I'm wondering if it's like, just for this, again, for the sake of just getting that belt back to New Japan soil, or, I mean, I'm hoping it's a little bit more than that. But I mean, it was kind of surreal to see not only Kenta, but him, like he like zipped down the hoodie and he had the go to sleep shirt on. I'm like, damn, this is kind of dope. Like, I mean,
well, I don't see why they can't let the U.S. title kind of appear on Impact and AEW and let it get some credibility on those shows until New Japan's ready to start their U.S. stuff.
The only thing is it's kind of the same. The only problem I have with it is the same thing that they've been doing with the NWA Women's Championship when they have their own championship.
That's true.
It's like they kind of like, it's like, okay, so are there two separate divisions, like classes, you know what I mean, that you have to like, or if I'm like, say I'm Britt Baker and I just had a win, right? Okay, so in which ranking system am I ranked? Am I ranked in the NWA women's system, or am I ranked in the AEW women's ranking system? Because it's like they're equal belts, you know what I mean? It's just one belongs to one company, one belongs to theirs. I'm like, it's like the same reason why I was kind of weird about like Kenny Omega defending like the mega championship on AEW. I'm like, okay, but it doesn't really do anything for them. People who don't know what the mega championship is or where it comes from, like they're not more educated, or they're not prone to go and watch Kenny Omega on AAA now. You know what I mean?
It doesn't carry the same weight.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I like what they've been doing with the TNT championship. I just don't know if them introducing the U.S. title kind of casts a shadow on it, if that makes sense.
I feel like putting Sting and Taz in the TNT title picture is what's casting a shadow on that title.
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably all that damn snow falling.
Yeah, I was about
to say shady.
It's probably more Sting than Taz with his short ass. He ain't casting a shadow over nothing. But no, yeah, I mean, it's weird because I actually was kind of excited for that match next week with Darby and Janela. I've watched them work before, which is why. But I thought it was a pretty good challenge for him. I mean, he hasn't defended it outside of Cage, and it's like Cody used to defend that thing with almost every week, and now we don't have that same schedule anymore. You know what I mean? So
I agree, but I'll throw this out there, which I don't think Darby's going to lose. But when Cody was doing that challenge every week, it did seem like they were just empty challenges. Whereas I feel like since Darby doesn't defend it every week, like Joey Janela seems somewhat of a decent challenger, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel the same way, where it's like they've worked together before, so it's not like a total anybody could, I've watched matches where one of them won, the other one won. You know what I mean? Okay. So, I mean, it's not to say that I wouldn't think that they're going to have, Darby drop the belt to Janela on TV, but it's like it's a solid enough competition-wise. It makes him look good going into Revolution anyways, you know what I mean? So,
and let's not roll out, too, that I doubt they'll do this, but, like, if the marquee match is him and Sting versus Cage and Starks, I think it is, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be Taz, right?
It should be Taz. If take the title off Darby and then let the TNT Championship have its own single feud going into Revolution, that'd be good for the title instead of the title just kind of being hostage in this feud. I don't think they're gonna do that, but.
So Sean Spears, right? He should just take it off him, right? Yeah.
Dude, Sean Spears. I'm just waiting, man.
I'm just waiting. I think he's waiting.
Well, are they still doing that storyline where
he supposedly quit, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen him. I don't watch Dark at all. Like I used to watch it before, but I don't even catch it anymore.
What I thought that was gonna lead to was first when I saw Tully with FTR, I thought Sean Spears was going to be in a little group with them, but then that didn't happen.
Yeah,
and then
because even then they just kept them separate. Like if you notice, like when he was with him, like they would appear with each other on the same show, but he would wear something different each time.
Right.
So I was like, okay.
I thought this was going to lead to Sean Spears maybe being like, I'm signed to Impact, like his real contract in real life. IRL
he would do well.
AEW.
He would do well in Impact.
But he's now on Impact, so you see him wrestle every Tuesday night. And then eventually they could quietly bring him back to AEW, but the thing that's a way to get him TV time, and
that's pretty true. And then I mean he could make the argument like you guys are being seen on YouTube, I'm being seen on national TV through Twitch, but still,
you guys are on you guys get uploaded a week later on YouTube while I'm on Twitch.
Oh, you guys are in trouble. Ooh, I'm over. Like, yeah, I mean, but he would actually be a pretty good asset as far as the cross promotional stuff. If they wanted to feature some guys. I mean, we were talking about
X-Division titles always in multi-man matches anyways. Just throw them into one of those.
I guess, it's just no weight limits. What is it? No limits, just weight. No, what is it? I forgot the tagline. It was like no weight limits, just no limits or something like that.
Something like that.
Some shit like that. But I mean,
something wordy.
Too wordy. Where it sounds something Russo-ish. No. But we were talking about like Private Party. They kind of have a perfect look for like Impact right now too. So I mean, Sean Spears I think he'd do well. By the way, Baca would be proud. The women had a decent match. It was it a pay-per-view or what? I mean, or is it just a themed? Because last year it was Bash at the Beach. This year it's Beach Break. So
I think it's just a themed Dynamite show. I think this is supposed to be replacing Jericho's Cruise.
That's true too.
Can we just replace Jericho?
I mean, can we replace Jericho's whole midsection? We do. I mean,
I feel like his torso's getting shorter and wider.
Bro.
You guys see him almost kill himself the other night, like last week, trying to hit that line saw, bro. Like,
and then he did another one the following week and tried to like nail it. Like, see, he was like, got it, like, bro.
Don't full rotation on y'all niggas. Full extension. Yeah. No, I wasn't mad at him, guy, because I was like, bro, like if I'd be super sensitive too if I had all of NBA talking about me.
Bro, like your whole midsection looks like an Arby's commercial. Like you gotta relax.
Damn, they got the meats.
They got the inner circle's got the meats.
Oh shit. Oh man, but I do want to get into the Rumble with you, Young Mac.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, man, because I know we were talking a little bit like during the last couple of weeks about what we thought might happen. Hey, but you was right, man. You was on point, man. Had the Bianca Belair. I know Brian. He had guessed Bianca and Rhea too, didn't you?
I guess I was gonna get a point for. I was on that too because I got 1 point and I got the final two.
I was gonna like when I said you guys were tied. I'm like, or we could give Brian a point for technically picking the final two, but I was like, and then here comes Baca with the conspiracy theories, like Sami Zayn. It's like he's already celebrating this tie, so I was like, God, yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I you know what I wasn't mad at the Rumbles this year.
No,
some people thought the women's had a little. I think they had 4 legends in there. Technical, they had 3 legends and then they had Alicia Fox.
Who was the 4th one? They had
was it Jillian?
Victoria?
Tori Wilson. Tori Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Didn't Molly come out again, or did I watch the replay right before?
You watched the replay right before.
Okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say
Molly can still wrestle though.
Yeah.
Yeah, she can. The women's wasn't bad. I like this. Surprisingly, one of my favorite things about the women's Rumble was Billie Kay. The stuff she was doing, where she was on the mic. And then staying out of the match, and then like she would pretty much like offer her headshot to anybody, like trying to team up. She had the whole Jillian Billy thing with Jillian Hall. I liked how they had that little brief, moment of being reunited with her and who is it, Peyton Royce.
And she wasn't rocking with her.
But like she was with it. She was like, oh shit, I got these other 2 people I've been trying to low key be cool with.
Yeah.
They on my back right now. I'm like,
there was a lot of There's a lot of little stories that they could tell.
Yeah, no, it was really. I just liked it from an entertainment standpoint. You know what I mean?
The Billy Kay thing was really good. The only thing is, like, sometimes when you're a wrestling fan, you build things in your own head, and when those things don't happen, you get a little annoyed. And I kind of was hoping that everyone was going to turn her down until Peyton Royce came out.
That would have been cool. That'd have been
cool. I thought Peyton Royce would have been better than Jillian Hall, but it was kind of cool that she was helping Jillian Hall, and then Peyton Royce came in, and then she got a little confused on.
Yeah, that's what I thought was pretty funny, because then you also had like the Riot Squad not too far away too, and she was like, "Oh shit," but they kicked me out, but I still want to be cool with them. But then like, this is my old girl from like down since middle school and shit. It just got deep in like so many levels, and it's like, but she's the first person to say yes when I asked her. Shit, I like it because, like you said, they can go so many different ways with it. Maybe they chose not to do the complete. Reuniting of her and Peyton just yet, because they know. I mean, because you watched SmackDown, she was great on commentary. She was killing.
Keep it funky. Peyton needs Billy. Billy doesn't need Peyton.
I thought it was the other way around before, to be honest.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna sound real shallow here. Is because Peyton arguably is the better looking out the two, and she had and she's featured more because of her athleticism in match, because I see her more in matches than I see Billy, right? And I thought Billy was gonna get lost in the shuffle, but no, she's found a lane.
You know what? It's not as a big of a gap as Tucker and Otis. How Otis was carrying the promos and like the charisma for the team, but it's the same situation. If you go back and watch anything with the Iconics, Billy was pretty much like
the comic relief mostly.
She, anytime they were getting a reaction, it was because of some shit that Billy did, and Peyton was just kind of.
She wasn't just there, but she has obviously that built-in chemistry with someone she spent that much time with.
Right.
She brings it too, but I see what you're saying. Like, it's like in addition to, so we got this.
Now when you separate them, you see, like, if you switch the roles and you put Peyton on commentary.
Oh yeah, she wouldn't. She's okay, but she want to be.
Yeah, but it's not. It wouldn't be what Billy is doing. Like, I
see what you're saying. Like,
Billy finna do some goofy shit. It's finna be funny.
Bro. Like, Billy got me thinking that she could do some TV. Some character. You know what I mean? Like,
she might get her own little
some silly stuff.
Like her own little show inside the show. You know what I mean?
If this was 6 years ago, she has like assistant general manager vibes too.
You say that now, we're gonna see her tailing like Sonya Deville in a couple weeks, right? Just like
what they need to do is have Stephanie need to show up for like. TV just random for some other shit, and Billy catch her and give her a resume, and Stephanie needs to say something to her that makes her feel like she got some sort. Turn her into Dwight from The Office. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking it's funny. I was thinking that same, because as soon as you said the assistant to the assistant, I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be some.
So then when Stephanie leaves, Billy thinks she got some sort of charge, but Stephanie's not there to tell her, like, that's not what I meant. You feel me?
That's hilarious. I'm gonna tell my friend. Don't make me tell my friend Stephanie about this.
She's telling Adam Pearce shit. Like,
dude, that'd be good. That'd be really good. Yo, speaking of which, where's Adam Pearce?
Probably somewhere icy hot.
I saw.
Oh yeah, because he had that match low key. Against Paul Heyman.
I could be wrong, but I saw a steal where he was talking to Paul Heyman on Smack.
I didn't see it.
Is that what the show's called? Talking Smack?
205 down? Oh yeah, he was on Talking Smack. Yeah. They did say that it was him and
we still need to watch 205 and do reviews on the show because we have no idea what's going on.
I don't know. It's when I see him do commercials, I'm like, it's still on. I'm like, but
bro, I had no idea.
You got the Cruiserweight Championship on NXT, so why y'all like they over there fighting for no belt or like
for nothing?
So it's main event.
Just quietly trying to keep their jobs.
It's Sunday night.
They're like, I don't know why we doing it, but
I'm like, hey, I'm on the bill, so I'm just going. If they don't say nothing, I ain't going. It's like what's his name, Gallows. He like when he was in WWE, he made sure to never mention that he used to be there as Festus because he didn't want Vince McMahon to remember. Because he thought, he'd either fire him or he'd make him Festus again. Yeah. So it's like, hey, I don't remember, you don't remember. We out of sight, out of mind. We ain't even gonna bring it up. We're just gonna keep this easy money going, and you ain't gotta put me on TV. I'm good. I'm great. Like, damn, dude. But Bianca Belair. There's a little controversy. You guys see that? I think I sent it to you. That little picture going around.
Yeah, but if
I don't
you watch
remember
the
that
actual
happening.
video, you watch the video where that still is taken from, you can see her feet kicking, and it doesn't actually like.
So they just took it. Like, they took it from an angle where it looked okay. Because I was wondering about that. Because I was like, nah. If it was, especially because you think about what they did with The Rock and Big Show back in the day.
That was
the internet was around, right? But it wasn't like as big as it is now. Imagine if they had to do that and everyone's like, no, The Rock totally So I was like, there's no way that they wouldn't mention it if that's what would really happen. But I was like,
both of them were extremely tall too. They had like the tallest woman in the division at the end, doing the same like Rey Mysterio spot every 2 minutes.
Yeah, true.
Like, there's other ways you could throw people out and make it suspenseful without them having to do the thing.
Skin the cat, homie.
And then, for real.
Dancing with the Devil,
it's like
that's gonna go out there and tear his quads again,
Nah, dude, we can't do that. Can you imagine that twice in one lifetime? Like, what the fuck? It's bad. The fact that he tore both of them in one, that's insane.
He only tore the second one because he's hard-headed.
Bro, like, it's insane because it's like down. like that story of the fact that they went out at the exact same time is only rivaled by the fact that within minutes after that happening, he comes in and tears both. Like, bruh, like that's an insane story. But Naomi came back. She came in, was it number 2 she was?
You love to see that as well. I think she was number 2 right out the gate.
Yeah.
To save her life though. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You said what? Huh?
Naomi can't cut a promo to save her life.
Nah, it's
imagine. I mean, because honestly, what she was doing, Bianca Belair does it way better now.
I was gonna say I didn't want to jump there too soon, but because I just watched the record I got of SmackDown from last night, and seeing Bianca on a mic opposite Sasha, it's like because you can see, like, as dope as Sasha is,
everyone
Bianca
says
is so naturally her character.
100%. I was gonna say, because when you look, they haven't really had a character letting loose so much like Bianca, because it comes so natural.
It's natural. Like they don't have to tell her to say this, say this.
Like, the thing with Naomi is she used to kind of do that, but then I thought the whole I'm about to snatch your head ball, like when they kept pushing the button on that like almost every week, I was like, I felt like Vince heard that, thought it was hilarious, never heard it in his life, and was like, be more of that.
Exactly,
you know what I mean? But when Bianca comes off, Bianca comes off real natural. Yeah.
Bianca is like, she be saying shit on accident and be like, that was hilarious.
I just feel like Sasha's been in the industry, or at least on the main roster, for way too long. Like, I think like
I can agree with that.
She out of this is gonna be a tough take. I was gonna say, out of the 4 horsemen, Sasha always comes off the most unnatural to me. Maybe Charlotte too.
I was gonna say Charlotte because she always talks like this.
And honestly, Charlotte, I see what it is, bro. It's just like music, low key. You just gotta find your pocket and don't try to be weird about it. Like one of my favorite rappers is Ace Hood, because he found his little lane and he stays in there. Nipsey did the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Nipsey did the same thing, where he was like, "Yo, I'm not finna try to out rap nobody. I'm finna just stay
he didn't stay in his lane. He created his lane. Yeah.
Exactly. So
and just mastering
with
that.
Charlotte. Yeah. She was trying to be the charismatic one in the very beginning when they were all trying to find themselves. But I noticed what she started doing that cadence, right? But that it goes with her queenly vibe. Like, she's talking like
the
she's
whole
giving
character.
you like this.
Yeah,
this,
off with
like
his
this,
head.
She's coming down with a ruling type shit.
I feel that. Yeah,
so it fits to have that type of cadence when she's
true.
Talking.
That's very true. That's very true.
Same thing with Bailey.
No, because even Bailey, like now,
Bailey,
bro, Bailey is like what I love about Bailey is she 100% exceeded expectations of her, because we never thought that there'd ever be a heel turn for her, and then let alone it happens. From that to the haircut. She fucking cut. She punctures the buddies. Like, I'm like, there ain't no coming back from this. You know what I'm saying? And then to see what she's done from there, it's like, yo, she's hella charismatic. she knows her character. Like, I love that she's one of the very few, I think, next to probably just Big E, who like will wrestle in the ring and then comment on something Michael Cole just said as if he's not. Yeah, it's shit like that. Like, even though it's small, it's like I love that shit. Like, it's hilarious. But no, Bayley, she's definitely come a long way. Becky's another one that we thought was going to be the bottom fourth, right, for a while out of the four horsewomen. Like, I felt like out of everyone that they kind of put a lot of support in, like Becky was like, we loved Becky, but they didn't put as much of the biggest, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they gave her a scope of the spotlight, but not as much as how much they highlighted Sasha and Bayley and what they did at SummerSlam. And then Charlotte, of course, she's a shoo-in because of her last name. But then it's like Becky, she kind of like, she fought for hers. You know what I mean? That's why it's like, I don't mind. Like when Baca says, yo, she needs to come back, I miss her. Like, yeah. But I think it was important for her, whether pregnant or not, to take that necessary time off. Because it was about to get overexposed. I mean,
it was flirting with Roman Reigns / Charlotte levels of exposure.
And I think,
what saved her is that she appeared on SmackDown when Cena came back, and then she like went toe to toe with Cena on the mic.
Well, I was gonna say that too, because Becky at times too, I think because of the script and how big of a star and how much they're trying to protect her, is she comes off as unnatural at times too. But then she has so many of these extreme moments of being a badass or doing things.
Oh yeah, it kind of overshadows those.
It kind of overshadows. But I would say like if you take a 3-month feud with Becky, 85% of it comes off as unnatural, and they're just okay promos. They're not great, nothing needle pushing. But I could tell you right now, like Bayley goes on TV every day or every Friday, and I'm like, there's a good chance it's gonna be really good. You know, like and you don't really get that with
no lie. I went
Sasha,
from
Charlotte or Becky,
not necessarily tuning in for the Bayley matches when she was face to watching what she does now. Like, oh, Bayley's on. Oh, I'm gonna see what she's doing. Like, you know what I mean? I love what she did with what she's already been doing with Bianca. I've said this before, but I'll say it for you, Mac. Like, I love how they made the what was it? The obstacle course. It wasn't corny. It was they did it. Like I said, it wasn't Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley. You know what I mean? Like that whole freaking car wreck. You know what I mean? But they've been building Bianca pretty well. I like the rumor right now is, according to my brother, because he has sources I don't have. I don't know how that happens. But he says that there's a possibility that they may be looking at a triple threat between Sasha, Bayley, and Bianca at Mania. Well, I'm not against that, but I'm more like, well, she low-key won fair and square to shoot the fair one. You know what I mean? Like,
why they always put girls in triple threat?
And Bayley's really good right now. Bayley could have a one-off non-title match, and I would be okay with it.
See, and I was thinking, I'm like, if they did absolutely have to do that, I mean, like, when you think about it, Bianca's in good hands because you got the current champ, and she's in there with the longest reigning champ in Bayley. I mean, these two women, I mean, they've done groundbreaking work just between them two. That's a hell of a rub. You know what I mean? And they all could work. You don't have to work. I don't want to say this like it's a reality, but, you know, often people have this perception of people having to work with Charlotte. They have to, you know, compromise a lot in the match to make her look a certain way, right? You know what I mean? Right. I feel like if she was in the ring with those three women, they'd make her look great. Especially
that's a fact.
If they're gonna allow her to win at Mania, that'd be a good look. You know, so that's the only reason why I'm not against it. You know, but I would rather see the one-on-one, absolutely.
Yeah, but it does give off, and I know people don't like these comparisons, but the Chris Benoit, Shawn Michaels, Triple H thing.
I was thinking that because I was like saying there's a difference between that triple threat and Daniel Bryan versus an over-the-hill Batista coming back. And Randy Orton, midlife crisis champion. You know what I mean? That was definitely it. I mean, for me, Daniel Bryan didn't get a rub from any of those two guys. The rub came from him beating those guys. You know what I mean? I don't see it being the same type of situation. But yeah, the Benoit with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, that's still one of my favorite WrestleMania matches to this day. And I feel like everybody got I feel like that was the one time Triple H probably had to get talked into like, hey, so you're not going to win. But make him look good, okay? just this one. Sean got you. Sean's gonna make you look good. Don't worry about that. Like, you know, but it's like just make Chris look great, you know. But I mean, I could if this was a female version of that, sign me up. Sign me up.
I would say like there's a decent chance that Bailey and Sasha, especially going into it, similar to the Triple H Shawn Michaels thing, is they're making the match about themselves. But what really happened is there's another person in the match who's themselves in that match.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the Daniel Bryan, Batista, and Randy Orton thing is all the wrestling fans knew that they were just trying to fix a mistake they made with Batista when he.
Yeah, it was kind of just watching.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we're gonna have this ends. Yeah.
But this one makes storyline sense that they're. That Bailey and Sasha just make it about themselves, So, but the thing is, like, we have 2.5 months to get there.
They got time, and I don't think they've stepped on anything yet. And I think the only thing if they do that, if they take that road, then Bailey and Sasha have to kind of like tune into each other, and Bianca has to be. The story should be like how Bianca is trying to remind them, like, "Hey, I'm in this match too," type shit,
And
they can't make Sasha. If it's Sasha and Bianca, then it's gonna keep making. It's gonna be hard to make Sasha have to try to carry that on the mic. You know what I'm saying?
I could see that in terms of her. I mean, that's why I think if Bailey's there, there's a little buffer there. You know what I mean? Right. Her and Bailey, they've done a tremendous amount of promos against each other.
She works very well riffing off of Bailey. But if she's just trying to go back and forth with Bianca, I think Bianca she just sounds cooler.
No lie though. Like it's like, I mean, Sasha wasn't bad on SmackDown, but she's not normally that good either. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that was just it wasn't necessarily anything over the top or special, like what she said. It was just some natural challenge competition type based talk, which I was like, oh, okay, cool. She's bringing it a little bit to her, but yeah, I mean, like kind of like what they were doing with Carmella, but sub out Carmella. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to trade up on.
I was gonna say, why she even?
But everybody
was still here?
Bro, everybody was sitting up there just like the whole time. I'm like, so when are you gonna attack one of them? So you're not attacking any of them?
Yo, because when Bianca comes out, and then what's bro name? Reginald.
Reggie.
When he pulled up, I was like, "What's his angle?" Like he was like,
he was, and because he showed up dolo too. So I was like,
and then he was telling her that she can't beat Sasha, and I'm like, bro, you don't even like that's not your girl. Like, why you?
That's what I think. I thought he was about to like all of a sudden be like, I got a crush on Sasha because even though we've been fighting each other, like. Yo, she got it going on, like, you know what I mean, like, kind of like some Mark Henry China shit back in the day, even though.
And it was low key a sneak diss to his girl because he was like, you can't even beat Carmella, as if to say like, Sasha better than Carmella, you can't even beat Carmella. I was like, bro,
but it was weird. He's like, but you could beat Asuka though, and I'm like, well, technically, when you think about it, Carmella always says she beat Asuka, so it's like, okay, but he wasn't there for that, so he didn't
watch wrestling.
He wasn't shooting in the gym with her.
I was just about to say, you wasn't taking bumps in the ring, bro.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of which, you hear that guy's he's like a former circus performer. Like
I seen the clips, bro.
That dude is that's insane. But I mean, a lot of people were like wondering because they were like, "Yo, he didn't even have a match in NXT, and he's on the main roster." I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just feel like the elephant in the room when it comes to the WWE a lot is we all love the Royal Rumble. It's always at the end of January. If they moved it back, we'd all be annoyed by it. But at the same time, is they're expected to build a 2 to 3 month storyline up into Mania, and it's pretty nerve wracking when there's a person we like Belair, and we're like, are they going to ruin her before Mania? Because there's a good chance that Vince will just be like at the end of February, be like, I'm not feeling it anymore. And that's not her fault. It's just you're putting her in a 3 month storyline with something you can't cut a promo.
Yeah. It just coincidentally it'd be the end of Black History Month. It's like, you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore. It's just like, now that it's officially March 1st, fuck this.
And can we talk about Black History Month for a second? Real quick segue. I love how Bianca won, Sasha won, and then the very next night, Bobby tried to kill Riddle.
Yeah, bruh. What did he say? He said, "Hey," he said, "You could." What did he say? He said, "I don't know if you can afford the court date," or what did he say? Something like, "Oh, you won the match. I don't know if you're gonna win the court date." I was like, God.
"Yeah." He was like, "I'm telling you,
MVP right there, dude."
I'm telling you, man. We need to see. If you notice, they had Hulk Hogan on SmackDown instead of Raw, because I'm telling you, we need to get that Hurt Business jump in.
I need that.
I need
that.
I would have. I mean, I'm not saying that I'd forgive you forever, but I wouldn't be as mad.
I'm not saying I forgive you. I would just like to see it.
Yeah, that's true. Like I'm not saying I'm gonna give in my angst, but it's like, but
I want Hogan to be sitting. I want him to be sitting at the table eating his little catering, and then all of them walk up behind him like, "Hey, we about to sit here." And he's like, "Yeah, brothers, have a seat." And they're like, "Nah, we about to sit right here." Like, get your ass up.
Get your ass up.
Let me tell you about Trump, brother.
And then he turns. He tries to turn around, and then Mark Henry pops out of nowhere. World's strongest slam through the table. That's what I do.
Hip gets
broken.
Yep.
Take his bandana.
Who got the scalp, brother?
Rip the Hulkamania shirt.
Jeez, man.
I need that. Put it in my veins.
Nah, because then and then they're gonna have Matt Riddle try to be like, come on, bro. We could be the brother, or the brother. He's gonna try to. I could be Bro Hogan, bro. Why they gonna because they are not giving up with Riddle. I don't know what they're doing. He's been showing out a little bit. Yo, he actually had a lot of time in the Royal Rumble. I was surprised. I was really surprised at the amount of time he had in the Rumble.
He's one of those wrestlers that they know that they could count on, but at the same time, they just don't want to. They
don't want to pull the trigger full. Yeah. Because the other thing too is like, you know what's funny is like, you know, Seth Rollins came back in the Rumble, and the whole time I was like, before him and Riddle actually finally locked up, I was like, damn, he wasn't lying when he said he was never going to share the same ring as him, because he was outside the ring like before he got it. I was like, he is not going to be, and he's like, fuck Riddle. I don't fuck with Riddle like that. But then he ended up, hey, he did business. He sold the curb stomp for him and shit. So it was, I don't know, man.
I like Seth. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, he's easy to hate, but I like Seth. Like,
I do like Seth. I do want to see something different. It's weird how he went from like wearing the white and the black, and then he has a baby. Now he's coming back in all red. I'm like, yo, what does that mean?
He kind of has that Daniel Bryan vibe of, in my opinion, of being a main event guy who could be in the mid card like 90% of the year, but he's still a main eventer.
Yeah, it doesn't shock you when he just randomly pops up.
I mean, AJ is almost the same, because I mean, before he went back to Raw, he was doing the IC champion thing. So
yeah.
Speaking of which, bro, I couldn't believe AJ wasn't in the Final Four, bro. I mean, I was excited for Christian to come back as the next guy. You know what I mean? Like, well, for it to be Edge and Christian, and then what was it? Yeah. Riddle, Seth, and Randy, quote unquote, technically part of the final.
You should always go into the Final Four thinking all four have a chance, even if you.
That's what I was thinking.
And then when Christian's in there, you're like, well, that's obviously not Christian. So which one of it as it is? Okay,
right.
Like,
yeah. It's like, so you're probably going to be the next elimination. So who's the real fourth? But it's like I as much as I did not want Big E to go out like that, I thought it was a good look. Just as far as almost like pulling guys out of the Rumble for AJ, yo, you should have been doing that this whole time. You know what I mean? But when I saw that the first guy he did that to was Big E, I'm like, yo, he didn't, why grab one of these other guys? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. And I think like that would have been a safe way too to maybe eliminate Christian.
That's true.
Like, he's just hanging on, and you just grab him, put him down. Like, you don't even have to throw him anywhere.
You think Christian is back? Because this fool was in full gear taking bumps, though.
I heard
he tanned up.
Edge says he wants to do a tag title.
I did see that
program at some point.
And you know that moment, the hug was great. It was a good moment. Like I said, I didn't think that he was going to be in the Final Four, though. I was really surprised it wasn't Daniel. I was really surprised it wasn't Cesaro. I was really surprised it wasn't AJ. And I was really surprised we didn't get anyone else besides Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman as far as
they don't have nobody else, dog. Like, to other people you named, like, okay, they put Cesaro in the Final Four.
Speaking of which, yeah, he just
gonna talk.
His contract was up. His contract was up.
There's a decent chance he could have been in the Final Four if he signed before Rumble.
That's true.
Is he gonna speak? He gonna have a speaking role at some point?
I don't know. I mean, yo, they had him just beat Daniel. They had him tap Daniel Outlaw. I was like, yo, this is.
It's like
what I was hoping. I'm like, please don't do the bar part 2 and have these two tag team after this. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be against it, but I'm like, we've seen it before. You know what I mean?
They want to give him that love, like, but I think what happens is it's the same thing that happens to a lot of people.
I know.
His in-ring work is dope, We know he's solid. Everybody loves him. Like, we don't hate him.
Yeah.
But it's like, what's your character again? Like, I need something to attach to make me kind of.
It's that, and then like, you know, Vince sees it. You know, again, it's the whole language barrier thing. Even though this guy speaks 5 languages, he doesn't think he has like.
I don't have a problem with him talking in the sense of the accent. If he spoke perfect English, the promo would still be meh.
Yeah, no lie. His promo creativity is lacking for sure. Because there's times where he says stuff where I'm like, and then like him and Shin, like back even when him and Shin were still tagging, he'd like fist bump the Shin. I'm like, Shin, that wasn't even. Don't give him that. No, that wasn't even that night. Like, yo, come on, bro. Cheap.
That's your boy. You gotta.
Yeah. You got to have him up. Yeah, exactly. But no, he needs a little bit something. He needs something. You know what I mean?
You know what SmackDown's got going for them though, like with people like Cesaro, is the SmackDown scene is super predictable with Roman Reigns. No one's going to take the title off Roman Reigns anytime soon. Maybe at Mania, but they're still putting together matches that we're like, hey, we know what the outcome's going to be, but we're going to enjoy what we're watching.
Right.
And they do it from a point where it's like, this is, again, the competitiveness where like, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. We'll make you think that anything could happen, but we have a pretty clear thought of what we want to do after this, you know, but at least they try to make it entertaining. They, like you said, they make it fun to watch. Yeah.
So whatever they decide to do at the Elimination Chamber, if it's a number 1 contender situation because Edge hasn't decided yet, or if they're going to put Roman in the EC match or whatever, it's going to be good. And they built up 5 to 6 guys on SmackDown right now to at least make that match.
Yeah, I can't help but think that SmackDown is just. I mean, it may not be a newsflash, but it's better than Raw, man.
It's just better, dog.
Way better. It really. It's like. They don't waste too much time on stuff that's just pointless. They'll you know, kind of zero in on certain, you know, just for the continuity factor to, you know, tie some things in from week to week. But like, I don't struggle to watch it like Raw, man. Like I'll sit there and I'm like, okay, I'll wait until Edge shows up because I'm interested to see what he's going to see at the say at the end of the night. You know what I mean?
One major thing I see the difference is with Raw, you're gonna get 2 or 3 standalone monologue promos in the middle of the ring from somebody, right? On SmackDown, what I noticed they're doing a lot more is right before commercial break, somebody's gonna go holler at Kayla in the back for like 45 seconds to a minute, and then they go to commercial and they come back and it's a match. Like, it's not a whole lot of I'm looking in the camera telling you everything that happened in the last 3 weeks. Hopefully you watch next week, because tonight I'm not really doing anything, but next week.
Hope you're great at retaining information, because here comes a recap. Yeah.
Well, I just feel like they have a whiteboard backstage, and it's like, all right, so we have Randy Orton, and we have Drew McIntyre, and we have the Hurt Business. Now we need these 3 things to take up 45 minutes each.
Yeah.
No, seriously though, because it'd be like, and the other thing that they do is like, they'll do what SmackDown does. They'll give someone a backstage like little interview or segment, right? But then it'll be like an hour or 30 minutes before they're even seen on TV again. You're like, oh, I forgot about it. Oh yeah, I forgot he see. But it's like, yeah, where it's SmackDown, where it's still fresh. You like, when you think about it, they just gave you a commercial, like they just promoted why you should stay tuned after the break to come back and see what I'm finna do, which is that's always been a tried and true method of how you get people to tune in.
And it makes it easy to just follow the show. They came out with the show. Bianca was with Kayla, and they was like, she's gonna go out there in a minute. Boom, and then they had the
even though she cut like the same promo backstage.
Same promo.
Yeah,
Big E did the same thing. Big E was yelling in Kayla's ear backstage. They went to commercial, came back, and then he had a banger with the homies, which I like the fact that Big E was like, all right, if I'm gonna be Intercontinental Champion, we doing matches with different people, bro.
I'm digging it. Yeah,
getting some shine. That's what's up. Because he's another person who, he's like Cesaro. You love to see him. I hope he figures out something to kind of like make you interested in him winning or losing, instead of just being entertained by a good match. You know
and being just entertaining, just from an entertainment standpoint. I mean, because obviously he has the charisma. There's no problem. There's no shortage of that with Big E. But yeah, to figure out how to take him more seriously, and I'm not saying, oh, he needs to leave New Day, but maybe a change in gear every once in a while if he has a big match. I mean, because it's weird because like Kofi didn't have to do that, and it worked for him, but they were on the same show. he's not on the same show as them, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
where it's like,
homies with him.
So it's like instead of like looking at Big E, the solo guy, you're always constantly reminded of Big E, the guy that's in a stable that needs to be with these two other guys. You know what I mean? And I that's not how I feel. But when you constantly keep seeing that as you're pushing him as a solo guy, I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's still giving off two different vibes where you're like, oh yeah, but he's part of that crew though, so you can only do so much without those guys, which is not, you know.
There's like a glass ceiling with Big E, I feel like, and we all know he could break through it, and we all feel like he eventually will. It's just like every time we think he's going to get to that point, for whatever reason, he has a 2-month feud with Sami Zayn. Like like if he had, in general, even if it didn't lead to anything in the future or the immediate future, just random encounters with Jey Uso kind of puts him into that Roman Reigns main event stuff where it's like he's involved now. He's involved in a main event situation, even if he's still doing mid-card shit. Like, and I think that's where it is. Like, for example, Bobby Lashley's in a similar situation where, to be honest with you, he should be on the same level as Drew McIntyre right now with the way they push him. But the thing is, just mid-carded out of Raw. And like, if he interacted with the Sheamuses and stuff like that, who aren't involved with Drew McIntyre.
But I will give him this. He's definitely made that United States Championship feel really like unattainable. You know what I'm saying? For whereas that title was a joke for the last couple years, as you know.
Yeah, you'd be forgetting who had it type shit.
Bro, I mean, like I had to remember. I was like, Bobby Roode's a former U.S. title. I'm like, when? I'm like, Samoa Joe won it. I'm like, when was that?
It didn't matter.
You know, exactly. It's like, it's crazy because like, bro, I mean, like for me personally, I wanted to see Samoa Joe take off the tie and lead the commentary table.
That would have been so tight.
Even if it was just for the night, right? Yeah, even for just for the night. You know what I mean? But like, it's like, damn, man. Like, it's like to hear. I'm like, yo, he only had one. Like, I mean, outside of NXT, it's a worthless. I don't want to say, you know what I mean? It means something to him, but I mean, like to us, a little one-time United States factoid. Like, man, you deserve so much more, bro.
I got the secret sauce, right? This is what Big E needs to break that glass ceiling you're talking about. Number one. Fade that shit up, nigga.
Everybody's been talking about that too. I think Baca was just talking about that the other day too.
If you just take a one guard, cut it down, and then flip it over and cut it up a little bit, it'll fade out so clean, you'll be straight, bro. I don't know why everybody in WWE has the exact same haircut. White dudes, black dudes, Asian dudes, girls. It doesn't make sense that Rhea Ripley, Big E, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Pete Dunne all have the same haircut. How?
I mean, like the thing with E is, right, he had that haircut since the NXT days, which is cool.
That's when he was cutting it himself when he was 4.
Well, see, I always thought that it was just him trying to stand out to look different. You know what I mean? Because I was thinking like, so you went from a complete zero to like a little bit of a flat top, but it's like cut so so specifically, and I was like, well, it makes me remember him, right? So okay, and that's just as far as I thought of it. But like, it's been kind of his calling card like over the years, but it would have people say, I mean. The only thing the only pass I gave it was like, I was like, oh, this is kind of like, it reminds me of like a modern day like Mr. T kind of thing, right? And I'm like, who also was like a no-nonsense badass motherfucker, you know what I mean? So I thought, man, you know, and then he says sucker and all that, you know, so I thought that's where he was going with it, right? But now I'm like,
rolling.
I'm like, you ain't B.A. Baracus by no means. I mean,
the Maestro dudes backstage only know how to do one cut. You know how the barber got the chart.
Oh, you said the Maestros, yes.
They got it's one picture in 38 boxes. They like, which one you want?
You know what's crazy is like you would think they would have put together a whole book now of like what number, and it would have been all wrestlers in that bitch, right?
It's all wrestlers.
They're like, I'll take 1 through 7.
They all got the same
Big E just gets the Big E.
It's like Finn Balor, Kyle O'Reilly. Fuck it. It's just like, oh,
it don't make sense. I think I've only seen one fade. I want to say it was what's my guy on?
Leo Rush faded it out for a little bit at one
Leo
point.
had a little
Montez had a little fade.
Not
The flat top, but he faded it. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he's been letting that name
rare.
grow. He's starting to get on Sami Zayn territory.
I think he just like shaking it, bro.
Yeah, that's true. And their commentary wasn't too bad. I wasn't mad at it.
Solid.
It was pretty hilarious. I think the only other thing I wanted to highlight y'all about was obviously the men's Royal Rumble. How'd y'all feel about Edge? Because this is one thing I was telling my brother. I'm not mad at it, right? But when I sit back and look at, okay, for the last 2 or 3 weeks, what stories have they been pushing? What narrative they've been pushing to get you interested in the Royal Rumble? Quite a few, right? They had the angle of Big E. They had the Daniel Bryan angle. They had who else? They had AJ Styles, Miz. Everybody had a little bit of something, right, going in. So that's why I kind of was digging the Royal Rumble this year, is because of the fact that they didn't have the usual suspects that were just fall guys that were taking places. You know what I mean? You had guys that were like, oh, he could win. Oh, he could win. I mean, if not, he can make it to the Final Four. I mean, like, they had some pretty good hitters, right? But, like, with Edge coming in on the go home of Raw, he announces his return, and then he goes on. Like, him winning was left field for me. I'd never even, it wasn't even a possibility going into, like, prediction wise. It was not even on my radar that he was even gonna, like, Final Four possibly. But when I heard he was, like, part of the first two, I was like, okay, so they're just trying to, get that spot out the way. They usually use the Royal Rumble to implant little moments of continuity for ongoing stuff, you know what I mean? Or even jumpstart anything WrestleMania related, you know what I mean? So I thought that that's as far as it was going to go, but I was like, well, if it's him and Randy, and then I was like, damn, this fool, he went on to win it. Like I said, my money was on AJ. I thought DB, they were pushing hard in that DB storyline, but yeah, Edge came out.
My money literally was on AJ, and I lost.
Man, and dude, when he got eliminated, I was really hot. I ain't gonna lie, I was visibly and audibly upset.
I think at first I wasn't really rocking with the Edge win, just because I was like, I don't know if I want to see Edge. Like, there's a lot of people on the roster that right now that I'm interested in, to the point where I don't think we need to, go into the time machine too much. But I thought if they're setting this up for him and Roman, it kind of makes sense, because at this point, who else can Roman kill on SmackDown, for WrestleMania?
I was thinking the same thing. I mean, the only other person that would make sense is Shinsuke. But they kind of backed away from that as far as him.
Yeah, I don't like, we was talking about having people interact with that upper tier. I don't know if they put Shinsuke up there enough to just be like, he's next up for Roman, because he hasn't really been flirting. Yeah, he hasn't really been flirting with that level.
Honestly, it seems like unless AJ Styles is one of the champions, he's not going to get a shot at, like a WrestleMania crack, right? Because, I mean, like, even though he won the Royal Rumble, like, I mean, they haven't done it, like, they always say, like, the fall from grace. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's fallen, but definitely hasn't been in the same, as you say, tier as he once was held. You know what I mean? 3-4 years ago?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of hoping, too, like, getting back to what we were saying about Seth Rollins, is that it's the opposite for Shinsuke for us.
Yeah.
It's like, he can be in the main event. He most likely won't. He's always a mid-carder. And we believe he should be in the main event, because he's main evented technically WrestleMania before. He's won a Royal Rumble, former NXT champion. He's one of the best workers on the roster. But it's the same thing with Cesaro. And I think it's...
which is why they had them team together.
Yeah. And I think going back to what you're saying about the men's Rumble is, for some reason, I wanted Edge over Bryan. I like Bryan a lot, but since we were kind of hearing it going into the Rumble so much, I just wanted to see something different than what I was hearing.
I agree. I feel like I wasn't against if that was going to happen, but I feel like right before it, they had pressed the gas on it so much that I was like, this seems unlikely that they're going to tell us 80% of the movie and then let us watch the other 20%. You know what I'm saying? So I thought something different would happen. I thought maybe they were going to let him, like, just beat his record from last time, but that didn't happen either. But again, Edge wasn't on my mind. I wasn't even thinking about. I mean, we've talked many times, like, any type of potential. Who do you think's gonna, main event or Mania? Do you think it's gonna be Goldberg? You think he's gonna, you know what I mean? We've done a bunch of fantasy booking, but Edge hasn't been in our talks pertaining to any championship. We've talked about him and Randy, him and Fiend, even sometimes him and Seth, but we haven't even talked about him versus like Roman or Drew. Like, I think it might be Drew. I don't know.
You think Edge is just trying to get that same vibe that Batista had a couple years ago, where he just wanted to come back and get that last one in, go out on his Shield type situation?
I think this feels a little bit different than the Batista thing, because Batista didn't need to come back. You know what I mean? He honestly, like, he came back and it didn't really do anything for him.
Yeah,
like,
it was definitely just sentimental for him.
Yeah, I mean, especially when, you know, towards the end of it, they just kind of fed, you know, Evolution to the Shield pretty much. You know what I mean? Like, they beat him, what, like 3-0 in a elimination match. So it was like they swept him. So I was like, you know, but the thing with Edge is, I like, if they would have opened up more about him with the promo on Raw about him returning to the Royal Rumble and said it's exactly, you know, 10 years from the time I had to give away this championship and give up my career. If that was built into the promo, I could have seen it then. But hearing it after, I'm like, okay, I could see the narrative, and it works for me in that way. It's interesting to see the matchups, but would I wanted possibly someone different to get a spot? I mean, because it's weird. We never really have, I mean, outside of Batista that one time, and I think Triple H did. I mean, we don't usually have a lot of the part-timers win the Royal Rumbles, right?
Right.
Usually they're already built into the main event picture for Mania or some feature spot, or, you know, I mean,
Goldberg.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they're going to be a challenger, even though they didn't win anything to get there type thing. But, you know, like I said, Triple H won. Like, he beat Roman, but that was that year. It was for the championship. Was it 2016? I think it was. And then, you know, you had freaking. I mean, it sounded like, imagine if they let Goldberg win the Royal Rumble, bro. I'd be so hot.
And I think that's where I'm at with it. Is
it's like yeah, to have Edge be the one to main event. It's like they could have made somebody new, possibly, but then at the expense of who? Roman? I don't know.
It's weird because at least Edge is earning his title shot too. They're just not.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, as opposed to how many times we see, I'm Randy Orton. I don't need to ask for a rematch. I've been here longer. Like, John Cena just shows up on a Raw and he's like, oh, and by the way, I'm in the Elimination Chamber. Really?
Yeah.
Because you said so. Oh shit.
And I think, like, to be honest with you, like, it looks like they're gonna push Sheamus up to do Fastlane or Elimination Chamber. And in my opinion,
I'm hoping that's not the WrestleMania.
Well, I was actually going to say, I think if they built
Santa Claus.
I think if they built it well enough, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre wouldn't be a bad mid-card WWE title match on the card, because, you know, Roman's match is going to be the best one anyway. So
yeah, that's true.
What do you mean? This is going to be the Firefly Funhouse with I don't know.
I really hope they just
the Boogeyman,
the mixed tag.
yeah. We gotta get a mixed match challenge in there real quick. You know,
I would have been, but if Christian was real, my disappointing thing with Edge winning is it kind of pigeonholes him into that he has to do this now. Whereas I would have been more down for him to come back, and if Christian was coming back, I think you would have had more fans interested in Edge and Christian having a tag title or just a tag match at Mania than Edge having a world title match at Mania.
I mean, if they
getting Edge and Christian back is
depending on who they would have faced. Like, I don't know if them versus the Hurt Business would have been good, entertainment wise, but I could see if maybe somehow like Miz and Morrison were the champs against them too. That I could see that. That'd be easy.
Also,
I mean, you got Ziggler and Rude on the other end for SmackDown.
Throw the Street Profits in there and make it a ladder match.
Oh, we talking modern day TLC vibes or what? What we do?
Christian wasn't done. He's like, all right, man, I'm out.
Shit, you might have to throw the New Day in there on Raw. I mean, I don't know.
The Tornado 6-way ladder match.
Can we just get the Usos? Now that I think about it, okay, hold on. Let's get Edge and Christian, the Usos. Can we get a returning Jimmy Uso against the Usos?
That's what I'm saying, bro. That'd have been fire. Edge, Christian, the Usos,
also
New Day.
I don't know what
Bubba.
Nice. I don't know what Bubba Ray's.
Let's get that for Black History Month. Thank you very much.
What's Bubba Ray's contract situation right now?
He's signed to Busted Open Radio. Honestly, I don't know. I know
he's not with Ring of Honor anymore, right?
No, he's not. And then I think Devon is still. He's still
he's a producer,
right? Yeah, a producer. Yeah.
So he's already in the company. We just need to get Bubba in, and you guys could do an Edge and Christian Dudley Boys match.
They got unless they're gonna keep the Hardy Bros and put Riddle with Jeff Hardy again, which I hope not.
And you could just do a TC match. You don't need to bring the ladders in. Just do a table chair.
Sorry, Hardys. Sorry.
It's not just a C match. And they're going to open the chairs, sit down, and play dominoes.
and then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns' music hits. He's like, "No, I'm ahead of the table. Oos." Pass out them bones. Like, oh man.
But like, I was gonna say too, like the people that I wanted to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
I wanted Seth to win for some reason, but he doesn't even win it twice.
Well, a lot of people wanted to fast track that him versus Roman angle, but I was like, I mean, two heels, they're never gonna do that at Mania. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Right.
And that was the only thing, because I was like, seeing that he came back as the same character, I was like, oh, okay, so he's still gonna. I mean, which meant to me that even though they keep promoting that he's coming back next week, they're gonna keep him and Roman away from each other. You know,
and not if I could promote it. You know, I could get creative with my writing. You know.
Oh, we know this. Like, trust me, I want them to hit you up so we can get a badass WrestleMania 2 nights. Let's go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I was looking for AJ on the Raw side. I thought for sure we would have got like the return of Lesnar or somebody, but I said DB for the sake of the points, but I was really hoping that what's his name? The Fiend would have showed up or something. We didn't even get the Fiend, which was weird.
I like how Alexa was trying to turn into the Fiend. And
I
was like, get your ass.
She said, bitch, if you don't. No, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, right? Go home Raw for Rumble. Randy Orton RKO's Alexa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his face is still all burnt up.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 6 days later, he's in the Rumble with a clear ass face with no.
But he got a bum knee, dude.
Oh, that's true. God, that's what it
fire bum.
Like Alexa was planning to come out. You know, he was supposed to be in there for an hour, but he was in the training room.
She has like a voodoo doll, and she put like a pin through his leg.
What they could have done though is make the training room become like
Randy Orton's locker room. Yeah.
The training room where they're working on his knee. All of a sudden, like the doctor walks out, and then a new doctor walks in, and it's Bray Wyatt.
It's Beetle. Oh.
With a
and then like I don't know, you could
that would and they could have pre-taped that actually, so he didn't even have to physically be there. I mean,
and then you could have like the room turn into Firefly Funhouse for a little. It's not a Firefly Funhouse match, but it's like he's in there.
And he has a big ass needle, and he's like trying to like put it.
Oh, like some super comedy size, like yeah.
And Alexa's the nurse. I don't know if that's the way to bring Bray Wyatt back, but
no, I mean,
now that I think about it, that would be
that's true.
Way to bring the guy back after.
They're like, who's this guy? Some like Looney Tunes ass shit. Yeah. I mean, it would work if he just didn't get it burnt all the way to a crisp, quote unquote.
I'm glad, but the thing is also, if it means Edge winning the Royal Rumble gets him out of this Randy Orton shit, then I'm cool with it. Because the last thing I needed is Edge getting involved in the Fiend shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wouldn't have been a bad thing because if he would have got involved, then he would have went back to the 5 seconds pose, and we would have got the Edge of old. You know what I mean?
That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been good.
They need to bring back Gangrel.
No. I was really hoping that he's going to come out too.
I need that music to hit. I need that music to hit one more time.
I'm not gonna lie, like
I need that shit.
I've never been a fan, right, of SmackDown's Halloween special. Like, it's always an eye roller, right? Because it's like always like this corny themed Halloween version episode of SmackDown. But
yeah,
I think it was 2 years ago. I don't know if y'all remember, because the New Day were on there still. And they came out as the Brood.
Yeah,
that was so awesome. Like, I was like,
was hard.
And they had the goblet and everything. I was like,
Oh, now that I think about it, a Firefly Funhouse match with Edge, and then you could get Gangrel to cameo in it or something.
I don't know, because we just had the final deletion, right, or the elite deletion, and he was in that.
That's all right, man.
Yo, first of all, Hurricane, how's Hurricane? Like he appeared in the Elite Deletion, and then he was in the Royal Rumble. I was like, he's getting his money right now, yo. I ain't mad at it.
He's like Chris Evans, or he's like, I got a hero in every universe.
Every universe,
in every universe.
Word. That's like Ryan Reynolds too.
Yeah.
He's like, which one you want?
As long as I'm under contract.
Depending on how far we're gonna go with the original storyline. Let me ask you guys, if you're Edge, or I mean, you don't have to be Edge. I mean, as far as a fan, who do you want to see Edge pick or choose? I mean, I know everyone keeps saying, leaning over towards the Roman and Edge stuff, which that was great what they did on SmackDown. I was a big fan of that. I don't know if they're pushing for Kevin Owens again. I don't know.
I would, if I'm being honest with you, if I had to rank them all, like, I think this will get old after a while, but I really do enjoy the fact that, like, Charlotte last year chose the NXT Championship, and I really do think Edge versus Finn Balor would be a solid WrestleMania match. Like, it wouldn't be good on TakeOver, but it would be good on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But I do, in my opinion, just because Raw sucks so much ass, you would think it has to be Drew McIntyre. But, like, they're going to just throw Edge on SmackDown.
I mean, I was thinking the same thing, because I was like, okay, so we got Drew, who just, he just beat Goldberg. I'm like, okay, what's after Goldberg? And I'm like, okay, it's Sheamus. But I'm like, okay.
It'll be the same story.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so we're obviously keeping Drew busy with Sheamus for a reason. So I'm like, does that mean that Edge is going to pick Roman? Which, and then on the other end, it's like, okay, we just had Kevin Owens. I mean, and I love what he's been doing with Roman. You know what I mean? But for him to have a third pay-per-view match, I was like,
I can't do it again, guys. I can't.
Yeah. I mean, because like the TLC, like TLC. Okay, Jimmy got involved, which is why we had the cage match on SmackDown regular TV. Then Jimmy got involved, and then you had a last man standing match. Jimmy was not there. You lost fair and square, bro.
Shout out to the referees in the.
Nah, shout out to not the referees. Five. Shout out.
Oh man, let me check on this referee.
Shout out to Paul Heyman and his extensive handcuff using experience. Man, that's the only other thing that took me out of it was like, first of all, I was like, why do you not? How does he not win after getting hit with a golf cart? I was like, and then the only thing another thing that took me out of it is them trying to redo the spear through the stage spot. I'm like, yo, we've seen this already too many times. Like Goldberg struggling to spear McIntyre on the outside just looked a little bit better than that. Which, I mean, come on, man.
I don't want to see Edge. When Edge popped up on NXT, I don't know why, but the first thing in my mind was like, I don't want to see it. Like, I don't want to see Edge.
It's a good look, and it's smart to get that viewership, right? But
I appreciate the fact that he came down and like gave them a shout out or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like what they're doing in NXT. I don't think we need to Euro step to bring Edge in real quick, because they be beating the shit out of each other.
I was about to say, I'm like, yo, bro, like, I mean, I don't want to see, like, that's like when I used to watch, even though Daniel Bryan just came back, like to actual active like wrestling, and he was going up against like Sheamus, and you'd be like, yo, Sheamus, what are you doing?
Relax.
Like, calm down. like I'm like, look, calm down. You stiff out there, you greenhorn. Like, you too excited. God damn it.
Fucking relax that knee on that bro kick, man.
Yeah, it's like, hey man, what you doing? Like, God. But yeah, dude, like they would tear his ass out.
But let me ask you this about Raw. Okay, so let's say Edge chooses Roman. They do a Sheamus program for 2 months, and if they do it for 2 months, we're not going to want to see it at Mania. They don't bring back Brock. Who does Drew face?
No, so this
The
is what
Miz. The Miz cashes in on him and Sheamus, and then
the best matches are the ones where, even if it wasn't a title involved, these two dudes want to kill each other, right?
Yeah.
So Roman right now, he's just, I want to kill people, period. That's just the vibe he's on right now anyway. So you throw him in there with Edge, cool. They can try to kill each other. Finn Balor and Kyle O'Reilly and all those guys, Pete Dunne, they always trying to kill each other. Cool. The way you fix Raw Sheamus just bro kicked McIntyre, right? He's supposed to be your homie. He brought you a sword from your motherland and all that shit.
Thought you was my homie.
Ace. I got you the shit from Vince McMahon's office, man.
Yeah. Here's a sword that we never talked about ever.
We had this for a character, but we just never pulled the trigger on it.
But
yeah, it was the Highlander, but we couldn't get the rights. But yeah, you could use the sword. Yeah,
they gotta do it slow because, like you said, we'll get tired of it if they have a match or two right away. So Sheamus just got to start being disrespectful. Like he got to start doing like fucking with his family or pop up at his crib. Do some goofy shit.
The only exception I have to that is he's done that before, and I know what he's capable of. I am one of the few still holding on to shreds of support for Sheamus, right? But I have to say there is an astounding amount of people that could not give a shit about shit. Like you know what I mean? Like he don't move him. So like my thing is like, even if he does get to that level, is that going to make people want to see him?
But the only other option, Edge, it's going to be the exact same story as Goldberg. Oh, I respect you. You're a legend, but I'm going to kick your damn head off.
Yeah.
We already did that.
That's all. It's a business.
I mean, I will.
On SmackDown, they have good stories, and I think that's where I'm getting at. SmackDown is they could put anybody in that match on SmackDown. This is gonna be good. Whereas like you put Edge on SmackDown, then that's fine. I feel like you're adding a fourth superstar to a team that's already got a lot of good players on SmackDown.
I see what you're saying.
On Raw, like if you don't do Edge, you don't do Brock, and you kill the Sheamus storyline too early, then who like I wouldn't mind a title versus title match, Bobby Lashley.
The only thing I could think of, if not that, is like I said, the only person that has legit like rights to a title match would be The Miz because he has a contract to it. I mean, but he still when you think about it though, he has the same choice that Edge has right now, low key.
I mean, did he just say it? He's like, sorry. Imagine he's like, all right, you know what? I want my Mania. It's not Miz doesn't even care about the title necessarily anymore. He's like, I want my Mania main event again.
John Cena's done that, where we cashed it in advance and said, but I'm cashing it now for my match next week. You know what I mean? But that would be the smartest thing. Like, but what would be funny is if he doesn't know who the champ is, and then the champ ends up being like someone like I don't know, like Brock Lesnar or some shit.
It would actually wouldn't be a bad move if they New Japan that shit and just say Miz versus Drew on night 1, and then the winner faces Edge on night 2. Like, I
mean, look, weirder things have been done, like Drew beating Brock Lesnar and then having to defend that title less than 5 seconds after the Big Show for some reason. I'm not against that. I mean, again, it's still so weird to think about the 2-night concept of Mania now as like the norm.
I think when they go back to fans, it's not going to be 2 nights.
Yeah, I mean, because they can control. They have a lot of more time control with no fans there, so that I'll give it that to them. But yeah, I don't know. It's the only.
That's probably my favorite idea though. Now to think about it, if Miz tries to go like above Edge and says, all right, if you're not going to decide, I want my Mania match. It's not about the title. I just want my Mania moment again.
Where it forces. I mean, he could still force a triple threat, though.
That's true. Edge can, but then so he's like, I'm going to challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. And then Edge, well after the fact, says, I wanted Drew McIntyre the entire time. And then
that would make it a little interesting.
And then Adam Pearce is like, you know what? Fuck it. It's got to be Adam Pearce or Billy Kay at this point.
It's one of the damnedest things.
He's like, and everyone's gonna be like, oh. So even Drew's like, no, you want to do a triple threat? And then they're just like, nah, fuck that. We'll do it's 2 nights. That's when they officially say 2-night Mania or whatever the fuck they're gonna say. And then they're like, we'll do Edge night 2, Miz night 1.
Unless Drew's like, I'll fight them both the one night, and then we got to do that shit.
And then Adam Pearce is like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I answered to Billy Kay. And Billy Kay said it's 2 nights.
He's like, actually, it was more of I was asking, but it wasn't like I was telling you to tell me what you want. You still answered to me, and I run things. Anyways, thanks. John.
Because they could put Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at Mania, and we'd all be like, oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I mean, the only reason why it would excite me, if you told me now we were getting it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But if I'm watching how it unfolds from now till then, that's where I'm gonna get invested. So that's the thing. Is like they can tell me who, like, even right now, like if it's him and Roman, I'm like, okay, but how do we get there? what's going to make me want to watch. That's where what's going to make, because I like what they did between the two on SmackDown, but it's weird because I'm thinking, like, what if there's a title change before, like, what if Roman loses before Mania? Like, what if Daniel Bryan? What if it ends up being like Daniel Bryan beats him at Elimination Chamber or something, and it's Daniel Bryan versus Edge at Mania? I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Because all you had to do is have Roman Reigns be really upset with somebody why he lost, and then that creates the Mania match. It doesn't have to be Jey Uso, but he just needs to be upset with somebody.
Oh, he'll say, "Where's Dwayne? Dwayne was supposed to be here." And then
or he imagine he gets physical with Paul Heyman.
Oh,
and he keeps getting physical with Paul Heyman like week after week, like he's pushing him to the ground, and all of a sudden Paul Heyman just gets up and smirks at one moment, and then Roman's like, "What the fuck?" And all of a sudden you just hear the dun 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 dun. And then we'd all get hyped for a match that we've seen 6 times already. Like,
yeah,
but the dynamic is different, you know. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like it does get like if like you've seen the same match over and over, but then all of a sudden there's a flip. Like, oh, this guy's the heel this time. That's what makes it. I mean, that's what, like, to this day, like the Rock versus Stone Cold, I feel like was always different because they were like heel versus face, like face versus face, and then it was like low key heel versus tweener. You know what I mean? At the end,
yeah.
But they were always different, you know. So
right.
Again, man, they just got to do a good job of building this up for me. I mean, I don't know. Even right now, I don't know if I'm interested to see Drew versus Edge, to be honest. Like,
I'm not interested in Drew, I think, is the problem that I have.
I think I'm not interested in Edge. I can be interested in Drew. I can be.
I like Drew better when he's heel. Like, face Drew, like...
I'm not going to lie. I really want to see a heel Drew as champion because we've seen what he does as a heel.
Yeah, heel Drew, you know, is cold-blooded.
I'm not going to lie, though.
Goofy-ass vest on.
But when he was heel Drew... When he came back, they had him like he was taking a lot of jobs. I mean, he was teaming with Ziggler for a bit, and they had the tag title
right before that, though. Yeah. He was just a killer. Like he was just a killer. They were
nailing that Scottish psychopath thing down.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't think anybody hates face Drew right now. You might not like it, but I don't think anyone hates it.
They're running out of booking ideas because it's like at this point, they haven't built anyone else up for him to face. There's no direction in as far as who he should face. They keep having him and Randy fucking fight. You know what I mean? But we're over that already. I mean, now we got Sheamus, but even after Sheamus, who's next?
I guess, to be honest with you, if they could wrap up this Randy Orton Fiend shit by Fastlane, they could do the Fiend versus Drew at Mania.
So does that mean we're gonna get the return of a 3-man band?
Oh, wasn't Jinder Mahal supposed to be the filler feud till Mania?
You know, Jinder Mahal, I mean, he's back because they did that, was it the whole Superstar Spectacle thing? Where they had like...
But wasn't there a story about that? Like, that came out like a week before the Rumble?
Yeah. They're really...
That Jinder did the indie spectacle thing, and then he was supposed to have a filler feud with Drew.
Yeah, I've been hearing that they've been planning something between the two, like, as early as last year, too. But that was before he went out with an injury, so I don't know.
They could maybe just do that shit after Mania. It's like, we don't have time for this shit right now.
I mean, because that's the again, man. It's just one of those, like, I don't know. Like, I like Drew, but again, they haven't. Like, where does he go from here? You know what I mean? Where it's like,
but I think it's something that really matters. Like something that, like,
man, that they should have had him turn heel on Goldberg and just low blow him, huh?
He should have. I just need him to like.
To be honest, it's more of an issue with Raw than it is with Drew.
It is. Yeah. It is. Because he doesn't have nobody.
Yeah.
It's a 2-man dance. You know what I'm saying?
They've already cashed in the probably the most credible person in Randy Orton, and they even made us hate that because it took so long.
Dude, I just thought about it. Like, this WrestleMania is going to be weird this year because, again, you know, they did fire a bunch of people after Mania last year. But they don't have a lot of disposable bodies for that Andre the Giant. And all these other matches, right? Like,
they might not do it this year.
That's what I was thinking.
Let's just cancel that shit. Because it don't mean anything. It's a time slot.
I mean, dude, I was thinking, like, they need to rename something after somebody, like, hella cool, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying Andre's not cool, but it's like, but Is Andre synonymous with the? Are you sure that's wrestling blasphemy? How dare you? How dare you?
Like the Chris Benoit fun tournament.
Oh shit! Well, I mean, because I was gonna say like Andre's
the Chris
not
Benoit tactical tournament.
Like Andre's not like super like synonymous with the battle royal. You know what I mean? It's just like. That's why I was like, man,
they could do a King of the Ring, I think, on the way to Mania, and I think we'd all enjoy that. Like the final match.
Well, they've been teasing that, right?
Or the semifinals is night one.
They'll never do it because they don't know what they'll do with what's his face after that.
Billy Gunn.
Yeah,
Billy Gunn. Oh, Corbin. I was gonna say the same thing with Billy Gunn because they
gonna be like Corbin, we need the crown back. He's gonna be like, no.
He's like, no.
Just do a King versus King.
I paid for this.
Do a King versus King feud at Backlash. Winner has to lose their crown.
Jared King Lawler. Yeah, let's do it.
And then go back to being the lone wolf, and then get bored of that too.
He got to grow his hair back out. He's like,
it's just growing from the sides.
It'd be a Jared King Lawler versus King Corbin kiss my foot match. We can run that. I don't know, man. I don't know, dude. Like it's so like
I just feel like once you get past the main event feuds and whichever one Edge chooses, I'm gonna like the least. And then after that, it's like, how are you going to build the lower to mid card, especially for 2 nights that I'm going to be interested in?
Speaking of Samoan dynasties, y'all see how Nia Jax and Tamina
just exploded.
they had just thrown Naomi out, and then they turned and Shayna and Nia threw Naomi out. And then they turned and looked at Tamina, and she was like, I can't throw her out. She's family. I was like, oh, Naomi was probably like, really, bitch?
He's like, she said, bloodline only, no in-laws allowed. No new family members. Like, damn.
I was like, that's a feud I want now. Y'all just.
And that's a bar right there. That was small.
Yep. You know what I'm saying? Now let that grow.
I would like going back to it though if they did a storyline maybe where since Payne Royce and Billie Kay are on 2 separate brands, if they won the tag titles and the only way they could stay together is if they keep winning.
I like that. I like that because I mean they're former champs, but that's a great storyline for them.
Mm-hmm.
And you could feature that on different shows too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's like a lift. There's a lift parked outside every time they have a match to take the person whose show is not to take them back to the other show. So the driver is just waiting, like, I better not fucking lose.
It's about to be an expensive ass lift.
Some dude named Arturo is just like waiting to get his 5 stars. It's like
take your ass back to Raw if you lose.
You did mention that King of the dude. If they would have had the King of the Ring in between, and they actually kept the same original concept that the winner actually gets a future title shot, that could be an interesting factor into the main event of WrestleMania as well. But sometimes,
the finals on night 1 and then the winner gets their match on night 2.
Tournaments are dope.
I am a fan of tournaments. If they build them up to mean something. If they just are like, sorry to say it, but the Women's Dusty Rhodes Classic, where it's like y'all were putting people together just to fucking fill this shit out. I can't rock with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. They're really forcing it too. This is like this is the 1 year not to try that. Like try that shit. I mean, if you don't have enough bodies, then just wait. You could have done that shit a year ago, but fuck, COVID. This is not the year. You can't get people from the UK. You can't. No, dude, you can't reach out. Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's a wild time, but. Again, I mean, I like having interesting developments when it comes to the main event of WrestleMania, but sometimes that one-on-one is just classic. I mean, but again, it's weird to think that it's Edge, but it's like if I had to pick who I'd want him to face, it's not either Roman or Drew. It's. I mean, you would, if anything, I would pick him just to wrestle somebody in a WrestleMania match with the title not involved. You know what I mean? Or it'd be cool if he lost his shot or something. I don't know, to be honest with you. Like that's
low blow him.
That's why when I gave you guys my answer originally, I was like, he could just put Finn over, and then like we could do something else with the main event. Shit, like as much like especially the thing about the NXT title, let But the thing is, like, is that what they're just going to do every year? Is like,
well,
we're not quite sure what we're going to do with our main event, so we're just going to put them against NXT champions.
I did just read that they are interested in having the NXT championship featured on one of the nights for WrestleMania this year, so it is a possibility.
Right. Which some main roster crossover would make sense for that, because to be honest, like, as much as it'd be cool to get a classic NXT match, we're not going to get that classic NXT match on a WrestleMania. So might as well just put a main roster dude in that match somehow.
Especially if it's another guy from NXT that's been on the main roster before, so he knows how to work the main roster matches too. So it's like, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all I got, man. As far as the Rumble, I mean, I was interested.
I could go for hours booking ways to not have Edge in these title matches.
I think we if you give us a week, we'd be able to have like 10 different storylines, not Edge related, but not hating on Edge. You know what I mean? Just again, it's a little different. Just because we're just so used to them wanting to try to make somebody new, or usually they try to repeat the same shit. I mean, Edge is a little bit different because there's a huge time lapse from the last time. But yeah, like I said, I was totally surprised. Congrats to him, but obviously more congrats to
story on either show though. Like
Bianca.
I haven't done this shit in 10 years. I want to do
but
it.
That's the thing. I'm like,
Christian.
Are they gonna put that story in the motion while we were still just singing, like freaking playing the violin for Daniel Bryan and his his Royal Rumble aspirations? You know what I mean? So, that's another thing. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing with Daniel Bryan, man. He just got tapped out, but he had that little fist bump of respect with Cesaro.
Daniel Bryan looked like he just happy to be here, bro. He like, I don't care. What we do? I'll do it.
Like, my neck's good. I'm all right.
He's like, what?
Yeah, he's just happy, bro.
Raw Legends coming to SmackDown.
Well, Daniel Bryan
I'll do it.
Daniel Bryan could still win like an elimination chamber, and Edge could still face Drew. You know, that's what. Like,
I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it was Edge versus Daniel. To be honest,
I can see that.
But I mean, I don't know. I
really like my idea of Roman blaming Paul and then facing Brock Lesnar in a mid card.
I'm telling you, he's gonna be talking about he's gonna talk this matchup and like he's like, dude, I got the whole family out. I got tickets for the whole fam. I even got Dwayne coming. I'm telling you, he's gonna keep saying that. Dwayne's not gonna show up. Then he's gonna lose. He's like, where was Dwayne? I'm telling you. We just got to get the match with him and Rock. Don't even put the title online. We just got to see the match. Because I mean, bro, if we're gonna. They don't expect us to wait 2 years, 3 years for when we come to LA. Like, come on.
Imagine Roman goes to Dwayne and they wrestle like in his gym, and then they show up on Mania, like on the.
The Rock wakes up.
Bro, it's gonna look like the like when Owen Hart was in the dungeon match, the old school shit where they just give him. It's like
The Rock wakes up at like 4 a.m. to train every morning.
Takes a shot at Terramana.
He goes in his gym and he turns all the lights and they come on one at a time. And you just see Roman like standing in the ring. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, he's
waiting.
Oos, I knew you'd come.
that would be a really good.
That'd be a movie.
Like post Mania Raw,
little surprise,
post Mania SmackDown video, and then they like, hey, here's a video from Roman Reigns or not from Roman Reigns, from The Rock. You know, it's like, oh, The Rock's gonna make a video appearance on SmackDown or whatever, and they do that video, and it's the book like next year's Mania.
Yeah. I was gonna say, do you think that they'd be able to do what they did with Cena and The Rock with Roman,
like a year out?
Like have Roman just continually say things about him, referencing him. Like, I mean, he could still do his programs, but he could always be like, this is why I'll always be better than Dwayne. You know what I mean? Like have Dwayne come in and put out the challenge. Like, you are the head of
you know what they need?
You think you're the head of the table, but I'm the hardest working dude in the family. So, you know what I mean? Type of thing.
Because I watched that Yoko documentary.
That was great.
Dope.
That was
super
great.
Dope. But they were referencing how when Yoko got on, he was their first main eventer in the family.
Yeah.
And all he wanted to do was take care of everybody else, right?
Yeah.
So what they should do is put out a little bullshit 30-minute Rock documentary. You know what I'm saying? And then when The Rock comes out and is like, oh yeah, watch my shit, and then Roman can send out a tweet like, yeah, you were the man for your time or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Then Dwayne could
plant the seeds.
What do you mean your time? Like, I'm still the man. Like,
I'm really feeling Mike's idea. Mac's idea though of like, it's following Dwayne. He's taking a shot, and then he goes in, and it's all from the perspective of the Rock. You got to
make sure you get the pancakes for breakfast, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And you just see the camera's behind the Rock, and he just flicks on the light, and then
cool, no, Blue, how are you?
And Roman's like,
he sees the silhouette. Yeah. Yeah, hell yeah.
Hard,
who in the blue hell are
bro?
You?
Like, tell me that wouldn't be the perfect trailer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just leave it at, "Oops, I knew you'd come," and then boom.
That's on the level of like when they show Thanos at the end of the fucking Avengers.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're like, so many possibilities. Yeah, no, bro. Like the reason I brought that up, I was like, I could see him like laying down some challenge. Like, yo, you think you're the hardest working dude, but dude, you see my net worth, fam? Like, you know what I mean? Like, try to like actually make it about numbers or whatever, and then have Roman just like.
It could be like that. The Rock he could be congratulatory, the Rock could be saying something like, "Congratulations for carrying it right now," but and saying something like, "Can't wait to see like you take it further or become even bigger." And then Roman's "I'm big, right now.
I can't wait to see you be the champ that you're supposed to be," or something like that.
Something that he take it like a backhanded compliment. Like, what do you mean?
Maybe,
are you saying I'm a fool? Is he saying I'm a fool, Paul? Is he saying that I'm stupid? Like
maybe at Mania, you could have Edge versus Roman. Christian tries to help Edge because the Usos keep getting involved or whatever, and then the Usos fuck up Christian, right? So it looks like Edge has nobody left, and then so Roman thinks he's got the match done, and then all of a sudden the Rock's music hits.
Oh shit!
The ref's distracted by some bullshit. He rock bottoms Roman Reigns, does that thing where he like cusses at him, he's walking away, and then and then walks out, and then Edge hits a spear. Like when Roman's getting up, and then that plants the seeds for next year's Mania.
That would be hard too. It don't matter. It don't matter how we get there.
My thing is they got to pull the trigger on that, because it's like, since they already moved LA to 2 years, like I'm like, yo, if you don't do it, you're obviously not going to do it this year. But there's still a small one. They can still do it and not be Mania, but that'd be dumb. If you don't do it. If you don't, I was gonna say, if you don't set it up for next year at least, bro. I'm like, by the time they come to LA, I don't know if we're gonna, we would want to see it, but I don't know.
It's too far out.
Roman's character could burn out by then,
and the story might be totally different. This is the head of the table story is perfect for The Rock and Roman.
Yeah, I believe so.
If he goes back to being Shield Roman in 2 years, like, who gives a fuck if The Rock shows up?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, he could even, like, by then we could have fans, and then they can't manufacture the boos because people are actually cheering him. You know what I mean? True. Like, because that's the thing that be getting me, bro. It's like, I'm like, oh, here go Roman reacting to the fake boos again.
Yeah, I hate when they take a pause. Like, they be like, let him move some more.
I'm like, who you
tape, bro?
I'm like,
the production guy doesn't like me.
You mad at production, bro?
You in the back turning it up more.
you mad at the sound bank? Like, come on, bro. Like, oh man, yeah. But you know what? I think we can end this episode here. I mean, I'm not giving up on trying to book this Rock Roman main event. We gonna get to it at some point. Yeah, I am excited. Always excited to talk to you guys about wrestling. I was definitely even more elated that Mac Lowe got to finally make his debut. They've been telling him, yo, come dressed up, this is gonna be the night, and then all of a sudden he shows up to the arena like, nah, Vince
got me a catering.
Vince pushed it back.
We have to talk about indie wrestling for a second. It was nice.
Bro. Yeah, you know what I mean? And Baca didn't have to call us neckbeards over it. You know what I mean? It was positive today. You know? Yeah. But no, shout out to Baca for joining us for 15 minutes over than he was supposed to. But yeah. But shout out to Mac Lowe again for joining us. Shout out to everyone that's following the show. And if you're not already, feel free to do so. We're everywhere on social media as Flow Wrestling Show on Instagram and Flow Wrestling Pod on Twitter. Hit us up on the YouTube as well. Every week we're putting up some content. And, of course, you can find us if you want to listen to us, just the audio on the Young Baca Productions Podcast Network. Until next week, man. See y'all. And for the love of wrestling, we out. Peace.